this lecture on RVUs and wRVUs. So I'm sure you've heard the term about RVU before, okay? RVU, or relative value unit, is something that the insurance companies have made up to help determine how much to pay for an office visit, to help pay for a procedure, different kinds of things like that. Whatever you're doing as a physician, there's an RVU attached to it typically. They determine what to pay, for example, right? So for example, not real numbers here, say that there's something that generates $50 per RVU. Okay, $50 per RVU means that's what CMS is paying. That's what the insurance company is paying. Whatever they are actually paying. This is just an example. Okay, so if you see a patient that generates 4 RVUs, a visit that generates 4 RVUs, then that visit was worth $200 to the clinic. Okay, that's just an example. Those aren't real life numbers or anything like that. But when it comes to RVUs, there's different kinds of RVUs, as if it wasn't ridiculous enough, right? There's total RVU, work RVU, and there's some other things. But for our purposes, we only need to know about the wRVU, or the work RVU, okay? This is what we get, right? Physicians and providers, this is what we get out of the whole pie. This is our slice, if you will, right? The wRVU, or work RVU, is what we need to pay attention to. So when you look at a procedure or a visit and you say, hey, what's this worth in RVUs? What you really should be looking at is what's this worth in wRVUs? And that's interchangeable, right? A lot of the doctors will talk about RVUs, but what they really mean is wRVU. But it sounds stupid to say I think it sounds kind of dumb to say wRVU all the time. So that's probably why everybody always says RVU instead. If you don't own the clinic, then the wRVU is the only thing that matters. If you own the clinic, then the total RVU matters too, okay? The best place to look up a certain code in terms of RVUs and wRVUs is the CMS Physician Lookup Tool, okay? CMS is the government agency responsible for administering Medicare, and they dictate each year how much they'll pay per wRVU. And overall, RVUs and most private insurers typically follow shortly after CMS institutes something. So if you go to this website here, it'll take you to this. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Okay. Scroll down here. Hit accept. And then you go here to this next page. And then it says, okay, search the physician fee schedule. So say you want to know what a level 4 visit is worth. 99214. Type in 99214 in the HCPCS code. Search fees. And then it'll come up with this table, okay? And it'll tell you 99214, outpatient established. MAC loyalty is something that is just based on location, right? And so if it's a rural clinic, a big clinic, all that kind of stuff, it changes the facility versus non-facility price. Doesn't matter for the purposes of our talk here. So then you scroll over, and you can see the work RVU on all of them are the same, no matter what the MAC loyalty is. The work RVU is the same. Okay, that's what you're looking for, the wRVU or the work RVU. And then I think there was a total RVU. Oh no, here's all the stuff I was talking about earlier. Transition PE RVU, all that nonsense, other stuff. Work RVU is what we really care about. So that's what we're going to pay attention to. Okay. So going to this website, you can type in whatever you want here, and you can see the work RVUs. Okay. That is super important because that allows you to look at any kind of procedure, any kind of visit, and see if it's worth it to you, right? If you're a primary care doctor that's doing obstetrics, is it worth it for you to do other aspects of obstetrics, right? Do you want to be doing C-sections? If that's worth it wRVU wise, then great, go do it. Maybe you want to get into more skin procedures and things like that, right? So then you can go and see what that's worth. So, for example, let's do a shave biopsy, okay? So if we do a shave biopsy, 17,000 on the CPT or whatever HCPCS code, you go over here and you say, oh, hey, a shave biopsy is 0.61 RVUs. Is that worth it to me? Maybe I'll start implementing that a little more and doing more skin screenings. How about let's see, destruction of a benign lesion? I think this code is what it is. Yep, up right here. Yep, destruction of benign lesion, 0.7 wRVUs, right? So you freeze off a seborrheic keratosis or a wart, boom, it's 0.7 RVUs. Is that worth it to you? Do you want to do more of that kind of stuff? And you can go all day and look at this, right? And one easy way to do this is you go here and you say joint injection CPT, Google the CPT, and you see 20610. So then you go back and you look, oh, okay, I do a lot of joint injections. So what is 20610 worth? And then you go here, they come up. What's the wRVU for that? 0.79. So fantastic, right? So that's one way that you can go through and you can look and say, hey, if I implement a lot more joint injections, if I do these things that I enjoyed doing in residency or that I've been taught, how much is it worth? Is it worth my time to do those things? I mean, obviously, money is not the only reason to do a lot of things, right? Do you enjoy it? Is it good for the patient? Is it helpful for the patient? Will it save them money? If the answer to those things is yes, then go for it, right? But this is a course about how to get paid what you're worth. So obviously we're going to be talking about money since this is a course to get paid what you're worth. And so a lot of doctors don't realize that if you do a destruction of a benign lesion, right? You have a seborrheic keratosis that's 0.7 RVUs. Well, if you see a patient that's a level 4 visit, okay, I'm going to get my phone and just do a little math real quick. If you have a level 4 visit, it's 1.92 RVUs. So 1.92, let's say 0.7 divided by 1.92, okay, 36% bump in the RVUs for that visit if you do the cryotherapy of the seborrheic keratosis. So initially the visit is 1.92 RVUs. If you do the seborrheic keratosis with it, right, you freeze something off with it, you get an extra 0.7 RVUs for that visit. Now you just bumped your RVUs 36% for that single visit for something that took just a couple minutes of your time. And that's what I want to hammer home is a lot of people will say, oh, skin procedures aren't that much RVUs, but think about that, right? If you do that over and over and over and over again, that's a 36% bump in the RVUs per that patient. You do that 5 times a day, that adds up, right? So for example, let's do some more math. If you have 0.7 times 5, right? So 0.7 RVUs for freezing something off times 5, 3.5 RVUs. That's essentially like seeing two more level 4 visits every single day for simply just freezing something off of somebody's skin, right? So it takes you a couple extra minutes, but it's like seeing 2 more visits that day, right? So that adds up over time, okay? That's what I want to hammer home is it's not a lot of RVUs at the outset, but if you think about it in terms of what's my percentage bump and how many more patient visits is that for actually not seeing more patients just for a couple more seconds of your time, it's totally worth it. So we'll jump into all that. I just wanted to kind of preface that. But anyways, use that physician fee schedule to see if something that you like to do is worth your time financially. And if it's worth it for your patients and all that, then go ahead and do it. Okay. So thanks for watching this one. We'll see you in the next one.